So I'm Dr. Ramtin Agha. I'm the founder and chief medical officer of RenovoRx. The company was started in 2010 by me and my co-founder, Mr. Najmabadi. And our focus has been to try to optimize drug delivery for pancreatic cancer for better outcome in patients with disease that's not amenable to surgery. So I'm a vascular specialist by training. I'm an interventional cardiologist. So I deal with patients with different vascular diseases, also with cardiac issues. But certainly I've done extensive training, both in terms of research and clinical training for vascular disease. About 2009, I come across literature, and also I was involved in the care of a patient where it really came to the forefront for me about the issue of lack of adequate drug delivery to the pancreatic tissue because of its inherent nature. As an organ, pancreas does not have any dedicated blood vessels. On top of it, pancreatic cancer tumors by nature are very avascular. They lack dedicated blood vessels going to the tumor. So both of those things kind of point itself that if you really wanted to deliver drugs, chemotherapy or any other kind of drug, using a systemic approach to the pancreas is going to be difficult. The reason we have had very limited success in terms of changing prognosis of patients with pancreatic cancer is that the drugs don't get into the tissue. So really this kind of suggested itself that a major limitation for treating these patients is to deliver the drug through the vessels into the tissue. That's where my expertise came in, both in terms of my research and clinical expertise. So we started with designing a specific approach to treat these patients through the vasculature, where we could localize the delivery only to the targeted area where the tumor is at. We developed a catheter, which is the drug delivery device. And then we did animal studies to show that it works. And then we initiated our clinical studies back in 2015, and then subsequently our larger study, the latter part of 2018. Yeah, so we filed our first patent in 2009, and then subsequently, as we built the technology, we understood the hinge point of our approach and also advanced our clinical development program. Subsequently filed 6 more patents that's been issued, and we have several other patents pending. On top of that, as part of our clinical studies, our phase 3 trial, when we approached FDA for our approach, because this is an area of unmet clinical need and it does not involve prevalence of the disease for more than 200,000 patients. It's about 50,000 patients. FDA has this pathway called orphan drug designation, where if you come up with a new therapy for an area of unmet clinical need in patients that's less than 200,000, and they see validity to your approach, they can give you what's called orphan drug designation. And we obtained that from FDA also in 2018, which allows us 7 years of exclusivity once we get approval for our approach, where no one else can use our approach with our drug for these treatments unless they do a new study showing that their approach is even better than ours. But otherwise, we're going to have exclusivity from FDA once we get approval after our clinical trial. We also have obtained an orphan drug designation from FDA for cholangiocarcinoma, which is a second solid tumor indication, which we're launching this year. It's a similar approach, again, for a tumor that's avascular, unmet clinical need, and the blood vessels are close enough to the tumor that we know we can go and deliver the drug locally and have an advantage by local delivery versus systemic delivery where the drug is not picked up.